Thank you. I'm not a cliche coach. I'm just a freaking country dude from Grove, Oklahoma. I'm going to be loyal to you. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to communicate to you. I'm going to love you. I'm going to let you know that you're damn important. This phone right here, it's at 480 some text messages. You know about 100 of them? That coach you want to come coach at Arkansas.
Yes, sir.
Huh? I ain't going to tell you what schools. I ain't going to sit here and tell you what schools. When we hire coaches, they're going to have the same philosophy that I do, is they have to have a love for Arkansas, and they have to have loyalty to Arkansas. They have to have communication skills for our players, guys that they can sit back and they can talk to you and understand where you're coming from.
Welcome in. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins, Sports Talk Radio here on KDSJ 479. It's our Tuesday edition, and a lot has gone on. As Sam Pittman, we let you hear opening audio of the new head hog as he was introduced to a multitude of Razorback fans, a great crowd, I might add, Demetrius. Real quick, we're going to have on here momentarily Jake Roos of UGAsports.com. A lot went on. You know, we talked about it, Georgia being the feature, also in part of the SEC championship. It didn't stop there. Even though they came off with a loss, that's when it really boasted, and we really had interest from us, the Arkansas side of things, when it pertained to the Georgia Bulldogs. As Sam Pittman was named, we're going to talk to Jake Roos about that, how it'll impact, if it'll have any type of impact. And they had a new coach that's been hired to fill the pit boss's spot there at Georgia. Matt Luke, we're going to talk to Jake about that. And then following Jake Roos, we're going to talk to former Arkansas offensive line, former Southwest Conference All-American Limbo Parks. We're going to get his take on Coach Pittman from a coach's standpoint. He's got a high regard for Coach Pittman and what he might be able to accomplish here at Arkansas. We'll catch up with Limbo and get all his thoughts. But I want to talk real quick to my producer who came out of that interview in that press conference quite impressed with Coach Pittman, I might say. Demetrius, give me your take, because you asked one of the better questions in our media one-on-one press conference with Coach Pitt yesterday. You were there and got a chance to see the whole environment. What was your take, on this hire? Now, we talked about it yesterday, but having gone through it and had a chance to meet Coach Pittman for the first time.
I was very much pleased with everything Coach Pittman did and how he carried himself yesterday. He made me feel that he was really blessed and fortunate to be a Razorback, and I think that's rare. It's not too many guys you can find that are willing to come to a 2-10, a 2-season 2-10 team at that.
Right.
And I think a lot of people are so caught up with, it's Arkansas and we're the big boys and we used to be the SWAC championship and we should have had the coach last week and guys should want to come to Arkansas. And I don't think that's true. Arkansas has been down these last couple of years, and this is going to be a hard job. But I think they went out and got a man that he said one thing that really stood out. He said, I want to earn my paycheck. It's rare that you have guys that are qualified, because I think when you look at Sam Pittman and you look at his resume, he's more than qualified for the position. but it takes a man to understand that he has to work and come earn something, and he's willing to earn his paycheck because coming from Georgia, he's financially stable. So even if Arkansas would have threw $3 million in his face, to me it seemed like he took the job for more than money. And anytime a man is willing to take a job for more than money, I think the passion in his heart really exuberates through his actions, and I think it's only a matter of time before Sam Pittman really gets Arkansas back on the right track.
From when my first initial meeting with Coach Pittman as the offensive line coach here at Arkansas, you just said, like I said, and people that's listened to this show have known over our years of broadcasting here on KDSJ, my passion and admiration for Coach Pittman, and hopes that one day he would get this opportunity that's been bestowed upon him. The thing that sticks always to me out is his personality, the way he handles himself. And I think, after listening to Jake Roos of UGAsports.com, we're going to take a real quick break and let you hear more of just how the Sam Pittman, infectious personality goes far beyond what we've had, how it was felt at Georgia. All that's coming up, but we're going to let you hear some of the audio. On the Hill was at the press conference when the pit boss was named head hog, and we're going to let you hear that. And then following that, let's get into it. Let's talk with UGA Sports. Jake Roos. That's all coming up. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Let's get it.
When we hire coaches, they're going to have the same philosophy that I do, is they have to have a love for Arkansas, and they have to have loyalty to Arkansas. They have to have communication skills for our players, guys that they can sit back and they can talk to you and understand where you're coming from. The only way that we can have success is for you guys to go to work. And I promise you we'll go to work. I want to be around people that go, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to do it. And the only way you can do that, guy, is go to work. You guys understand the tradition of the Arkansas Razorbacks, correct? Well, how come we can't get back to that? Can't we? We at Arkansas, the University of damn Arkansas, and we're going to get it done, and we're going to get it done together. I need everybody in this room. You're a scholarship guy, you're a walk-on guy. We need everybody in this room, because all ladies are saying, I don't want to lose one guy in this room. Again, you didn't choose me, I chose you. I'm damn glad I did.
Welcome back. It's our Tuesday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio here on KDSJ 479. And real quick, before we get to our first special guest, want to give a shout out to Lindsay and Associates, Locomotion, Corey Beck's Custom Painting, and KDK's Chicken. But Arkansas and Georgia will forever have ties now going forward. As the top offensive line coach was once residing in Athens, has made his way to be the pit boss and the head hog. Sam Pittman has been named the head football coach here at Arkansas. So we're going to get in touch with a guy that you know quite well if you listen to our show, and I'm pretty sure you do. Jake Roos of UGAsports.com. JR, talk to me, baby.
Thanks for having me as always, Pat. I appreciate it. Busy time for both of us, I reckon.
It was kind of funny, kind of in a weirdest way, as we were heading in to the studio for today's show. You and I had spoke, and it kind of went back to several weeks ago where here on the air we mentioned the Sam Pittman to Arkansas possibility. Now that from that talk to that, now it's come like crazy. What's been to make of it to this point, Jake?
I think it's an exciting hire for Arkansas. Got to be, a guy who's got a lot of passion for that program. Clearly, as you saw in the opening, in his opening press conference, and an elite recruiter, in the SEC, a guy with just a ton of experience under his belt. I think that it's a great hire for them, and I really am so happy for Coach Pittman. I think everybody around the Georgia program is because he's just been so good to everybody down here. Has done such a fantastic job, and fans are sad to lose him, but excited that he gets this great opportunity.
And covering him. Jake, for the 4 years that Coach Pittman was down in Georgia for the Dogs. What are some of the things that that stood out to you now that you've had a couple of days to kind of reflect on the type of coach and impact that Sam had on the University of Georgia?
Just a real down-to-earth guy, a guy that you didn't have to worry about where you stood with him. You felt like you knew that. You felt as if he was a guy who, understood what it took to get guys there, but also what it meant to not only bring them in, but make them a part of his family as well. And I think that, Sam Pittman is a guy who, has just endeared himself to fans with, the Yes Sir videos, certainly stacking that room for the Georgia Bulldogs moving forward. I think, just overall, like I said, people are very sad to lose him. I think of all the coaches on the staff that they could have lost, aside from Kirby, that Sam was the one that they were really hoping to hold on to. But, a guy who got a great opportunity and certainly is well deserving.
When you look at Sam as a head football coach with his infectious personality, I had a chance in his previous stop here before he made his way to Georgia as the offensive line coach there. He was also had held the same title here. As a head coach, with his ability to be such a nationally known, likable coach, as far as all the kids throughout the country, and his penchant for being a great recruiter, is he is this the type of coach? Because I think Sam's the guy that you hired at the right time to recruit yourself out. Because let's face it, being where Arkansas is, that's basically, you had to get someone in it that could kind of rally a bunch, assistant coaches that would have the same tenacity on the recruiting front. Is Sam the type of guy that can get this done here at Arkansas?
Oh, no question. I think when it comes to getting great assistant coaches, I don't think he's going to have any problem putting together a fantastic staff. He's a guy that people want to work for and work with. And, that I think that's been proven by how many people have pursued him over the years, to help them start programs, get new identities for programs. So, I think that he's going to be able to put a very natural spin on things. I think that it's, going to be a great fit for him. And like I said, I look for a dynamic staff, full of enthusiasm, excitement, great recruiters, but also, Sam well regarded for his coaching ability as well. And I think that he'll have some guys in there that can mold these young men and take them further.
Something I feel that's just real common, that most fan bases and head coaches also too fears when a top assistant moves on to his next destination to be a head coach, that there could be a possibility that he may want to carry a few, case in point, last year, Jay Johnson goes to Colorado with Mel Tucker. Kirby Smart brings over Mel Tucker prior when he comes over from Alabama. Pruitt does the same thing over at Tennessee. The point I'm making, Jake, is with that being said, who on that staff have maybe would be a real top priority or a serious candidate to follow Sam here to Arkansas and probably be a position coach, and let's face it, get a slight pay raise. Who could be some of those candidates that maybe people that are listening, either Georgia or Arkansas fans, maybe need to keep a look at on? Because I'm hearing the defensive line coach Trey Scott would be one. Who would be another?
Yeah, Trey Scott, that would be a tremendous hire. I think that the two of them have bonded really well, having their position groups battling it out so frequently. So definitely be interested to see if that one goes down. Del McGee's another guy I think to watch, an elite recruiter on this Georgia staff, one of the best when it comes to in-state recruiting here in Georgia. Also got Auburn ties, obviously played there, and a very storied career for him there. So, I think that Del's a guy that Sam would has likely evaluated already and gotten a feel on. Right. So, I think that there are some great young coaches on the staff as well. Glenn Schumann's a guy who stands out to me. Charlton Warren's a guy who's had a number of stops so far. I think that he's got some great ties here at the University of Georgia, and it wouldn't surprise me to see him maybe poach a coach from Kirby.
Now on to who replaces Coach Pittman. When a coach moves on, you have to find a replacement. You guys went out, and I'm talking about Kirby Smart, wasted no time and having someone that's solidly known. Laramie Tunsil comes to mind as being coached by the young gentleman that was so unfortunately let go there at Ole Miss, that being Matt Luke. Talk about Matt coming in and, how does that help that class? Because I know Sam had a really astute group of incoming linemen that were going to be true freshmen next season. Talk about, Matt, and how will that help keep this very highly thought of offensive line group intact?
I think, like you said, 5 guys in this class committed for Georgia, all of them 4 stars, and just a lot of upside. And so a lot of people were hand-wringing what's going to happen. I really don't think Kirby Smart could have done much better than hiring Matt Luke. You get somebody with SEC, obviously great SEC experience, but also a natural O-line coach, a guy who knows that position super well and has OC experience also. So, that may be useful for Georgia if they're trying to shake things up on the offensive side of the ball, as a lot of fans have suggested they might, possibly get him chiming in on what they're doing there. But I think that overall it's like I said, a tremendous hire. They gave him the associate head coach title, well deserving of that. Also, Matt Luke already on the road. We're hearing that he's going to be going out to see prospects today and tomorrow. So he's hitting the ground running when it comes to Athens.
Talking with Jake Roos of UGAsports.com, covers all dog football for us here on OTH. You got about a minute and a half, and I know this is when it really picks up for you, Jake, as the off season, the dead period's about to come up, early signing period, but then again, then that's when it really picks up. Talk about where will the coaches be, in this short period of time, and who are some of the key guys that they want to sign here in this early signing period for the Georgia Bulldogs?
Well, they've been active on the road already. Got out to see Darnell Washington out in Las Vegas, the 5-star tight end. Got in to see Clovis, California's Kendall Milton, who's long been committed to the Bulldogs. Kind of assured everything there. Jalen Kimber was another guy. Got in to see him in Texas. They're putting in the legwork. There's no question about that. I think that moving into this early signing period, it's going to be really interesting to see how Georgia's defensive back class plays out because they've got several options there. Keely Ringo, obviously the top option, and a guy who Georgia feels confident about, will be taking his official visit to Athens this weekend. So I look for them to go ahead and shut the door on that this weekend. But guys like Eric Reed, who just decommitted from Ole Miss recently, you got to think that helps with the Matt Luke hire being made. It's going to be a very crazy one for Georgia because, as you mentioned, anytime you have some staff shakeup, it is. But I think that they're going to try to get all this knocked out. As much of it as they can in a certain period.
Well, as always, my man, look forward in a couple of weeks. Let's start talking on the recruiting front, and just bowls coming up for the Dogs. But as always, my man, thanks for your insight today, and thanks for taking time out here on OTH, Jake.
I appreciate it, Pat. Thank you.
That was UGA Sports Owns Jake Roos. Giving us the 411, the skinny, whatever you want to call it. It's the SEC. It just means more, but we're going to let you continue on. Got a little Sam Pittman audio from his presser. Some of the reasons he wanted to be a Hog. We'll let you see some of that emotion. And then upcoming, former Arkansas All-Southwest Conference offensive lineman Limbo Parks. He's pretty proud of this hire because it just means more to him, but we'll talk about the Arkansas way. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Let's go Hogs. Well, I have some news for you. I was watching that video back there, and I had fooled myself thinking I lost a little weight since I was here. Wrong. I want to thank Hunter Yurchek, John Fagg, and Steve Cox, Board of Trustees, and Chancellor Steinmetz. I met some of these guys yesterday. It was yesterday, wasn't it now? And I tell you what, great people that are in charge of the University of Arkansas, and people that love the university. And I want to thank Judy Henry. She's awesome. And She helped me. I think what she did was she bugged Hunter a lot. And but she did a great job. She called me, and she thought I could get the job. She thought I deserved the job, and by golly, I wanted it. And so she helped me very much. I want to thank the University of Georgia. Kirby Smart has been very good to me. We had a good run there, and I had some really good players there, good kids. And I want to thank Kirby for being so kind to Jamie and I. I want to thank my wife. She was the first six-star back in 1986. So my recruiting skills.
Welcome back. It's our Tuesday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio, and we were playing opening statements from Coach Sam Pittman as he was named the big head hog, the pit boss, whatever you want to call this man. He is it, and everything tied up into it. And we thought we always talk about it, and Sam talked about being Arkansas strong, and he mentioned in yesterday's initial press conference about the former Razorbacks, all of them coming back. And I thought about that, and I thought about it, and what the best way I thought I could fix this was go down to Missouri, where I would catch up with Lee Summits, offensive line coach and former Arkansas All-Southwest Conference offensive lineman, and someone that knows Coach Sam Pittman quite well, and bring him on. Limbo, welcome to OTH, my man.
Hey, how you doing, Pat? Thanks for having me, buddy.
We've talked about this Sam Pittman for quite some time since the news came down on Sunday night that he would be the head football coach at Arkansas. From a former Razorback standpoint, and having gone through Limbo the years of watching this football program, basically since Sam Pittman left, what's your general take on Sam being named the head coach? And I know from a offensive lineman's point of view, it has to feel pretty special for Sam to be given this opportunity, since that doesn't happen for college offensive line coaches very much.
Well, I think it's a great hire. As soon as they let go of Coach Morris, I was like, they need to bring back Sam Pittman, because you need to bring back some toughness. And he's an offensive line coach, so he knows what it means. I mean, if you look at the records when he was here in 2013 and 14, was that it?
And
2
15.
seasons?
And 15.
And 15. Well, you look at the record. Last year was 2015. I think it was 8-5.
Right.
So they was on their way up, and they were 7-6. And you look at the scores, and you just look at the team and look at the offensive line. And after he left, went back to 7-6. I mean, you look at when he left, it was a huge loss.
Right.
It was a huge loss. I mean, he's the best offensive line coach in America. So I mean, you have to start a team with the big uglies up front. I mean, I don't care how you look at it. And I think that's what he's going to do. Besides that, he's going to make the players when they get to really know him, man, they're going to fall in love. You're going to see something special.
Limbo, the thing that just came about yesterday following the press conference also too, the first things people want to know when a coach has been hired is the offensive and defensive line coaches. It's come out since the press conference that Brad Davis will be the offensive line coach, former offensive line coach there at the University of Missouri. Talk about that hire, and what does that say when Sam can go out and hire a guy of Brad's caliber, someone that played, let's get it, a couple years as on a national championship offensive line there at OU, offensive lineman. Top offensive lineman on his team during a 3-year stretch, and then to be able to understudy for Sam at North Carolina. Talk about that hire, and what does that mean?
Obviously, he coached with Coach Pittman, and he's comfortable with them. So I mean, I know it's going to be the same type of philosophy that he has. And I mean, if you look at University of Missouri, which some of our players from Lee Summit West here that's played up there on the offensive line for a coach, and they got some big hogs up there too. So I mean, I think that's going to be awesome. You know, of course, you know, when you got offensive line coach like Coach Pittman looking over your shoulders as a head coach, it's not, it's going to be Coach Pittman's philosophy up front. So, it's going to be good.
From an Arkansas player standpoint, and watching this program be what it was, I mean, you played in a time where the mantra of Razorback football was physical. Do you feel like having Sam come back to the fold and really touching on when you had a chance to watch his press conference, to see a coach stand up there and have the emotion and feel so blessed to have an opportunity to be where he wanted to be, is that really in your mind from a former player standpoint you want to see in the next football coach, not just come for a check, but come because you want to be here and change this program from a player standpoint? How that make you feel seeing, such genuineness come from Sam?
That's and I watched the press conference and stuff, and that's one thing that I took away from it. And that's one thing that I didn't want Hunter to hire someone that's coming in for a paycheck or someone just wanting to, come in for a while and get a paycheck. I want someone with passion. I heard a reporter asked him about, not being a coordinator or something like that, and I kind of, I looked at him like, really? I mean, the man's been in front of top programs, all over the country. He sees how people runs a program. He sees things that he didn't like, and some things that he would do differently. And it's like what he said. He said every head coach that is a head coach now wasn't a head coach. Someone had to believe in him.
Right.
And that got me. And I was like, that's right. Someone's got to give you a chance to believe in them. And I think all the former Razorbacks are happy. One of the things he said in the interview that I took away from it, he said, it's hard. It's hard if you're not. It's hard if you're not tough every day to continue to be tough.
Right.
Okay. And I took that away from him, and I just got fired up. I hope. This is why I'm hoping he brings some more former Razorbacks.
Right. Glad you mentioned that. I mean, and that leads into my very next question, Limbo. I mean, speak on that. How important is it for former Razorbacks, in your opinion, that are you got guys like a Ron Dickerson Jr., who's wide receivers coach at ULM, and multiple places, strength and conditioning coaches like Tank Wright and Kiero Small could possibly want to come back and get into the strength and conditioning program. Talk about how important that is to bring more former Razorbacks in any type of capacity for Sam to be able to start, because Sam's going to start pushing that tradition because, this is something that's been his dream for quite some time. Kind of grew up in the background there at Grove, Oklahoma, of just what Arkansas football really means. I mean, how important is that to have guys that's walked the walk on that yard?
Well, we bleed Arkansas red and white. That's guys that's in the program. We got guys coaching all over the country, and I'm like he said, he had a lot of phone calls and a lot of people wanting to come back and be a part of it. I mean, if people thought it wasn't worth coming back to, they wouldn't be asking to come back.
Right.
And you also got players that want to come back and restore the glories of it, because we're sick of seeing our guys in the bottom of the SEC and being laughing stock.
Right.
I mean, we want to come back. We want to recruit kids to come and want to be Razorbacks. I was at the Missouri game, and I was just like, some of them probably don't even know the fight song. We just sing the fight song after every game. How can you learn the fight song when you only win 2 games a year?
Right.
I don't get it. I mean, you need to bring someone back like Ron Dickerson down there in Louisiana, Monroe. I mean, Ron Dixon Jr. He wants to come back and help them build it. You know, I mean, get guys in the straight weight room want to come back.
Right.
That means something. It means something to us. I mean, it meant something when we was here. Now, I mean, guys want to come back and be a part of it because we love our university and we love our Razorbacks.
Last question, and I know you do a great job at the particular school you're at with coaching up your offensive lineman, and was one of the best that I've ever seen do it. But
well, you got to say I'm the coach of defensive line up here.
They need to have the coach. They need to really, in all honesty, let you do all of it. I mean, because when it came
I know all
the line of scrimmage, my man, you had a nasty streak, and I think that's what gets kind of lost, in today's era of football, as the way you and like a Sam Pittman play the game of football. It's a line of scrimmage league. It has been. It always will be. That'll never change. And, my last question, with that being said, Sam made a statement also, too, in our presser, is that you have to understand how to recruit, Limbo, in the SEC. It's a different way to recruit if you're going to play big boy football. How much does that resonate with you? And the last point is he told Hunter, no need for the buyout. You only put in buyouts if if it's expected to fail, and I'm not expected to fail. Those two statements have to get former players and all the state pretty much riled up and have a lot of confidence in Sam, don't you think?
Say that one more time. You cut out.
Sam was talking about having to understand how to recruit in the SEC at this level. You have to have those type of coaches and recruiters themselves that know how to recruit in this league, because, I mean, it's different, Limbo, to recruit in the SEC as opposed to any other conference. And then that last statement, in Hunter's initial opening remarks, the statement that he made about the buyout, no need to give me a buyout if if you're expecting me to fail, and I don't expect that. From a former player, right. I mean, don't you think that gets the fan base, pretty much starting to turn, and if he can put some games together, how important that could be?
Absolutely, that's important. That's a powerful statement right there. That means he wants to be here, and his recruiting. I mean, I know he's going to recruit. I personally, I hope he gets up here to see me up here in Kansas City. I mean, trust me, if I got a player here that can play, I'll let them know. I mean, we got players. I mean, heck, we got a player playing at Clemson that Arkansas jumped on him late. Well, I told him about him when he was a sophomore.
Right. I can vouch for that one.
Yeah, and then there's no way no one should have been on him until the 12th hour. Well, right. Clemson already had their hooks in him.
Right.
I mean, absolutely. That's the type of stuff that just can't keep happening. I mean, I give you another example. Harry Wilson, who played at Arkansas. Right. Okay. His son was born in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Well, guess where he's playing at? He's playing in Nebraska.
Oh, wow.
Bo Wilson. Yeah, they didn't even come look at him.
Oh, wow.
Those type of things need to stop happening.
Right. And I think under the leadership of Coach Pitt, I think things will be on more solid ground. But Limbo, I'm going to let you get on and finish out your day at your school. Like I said, you got tons of people you got to make sure are doing the right thing. But as always, man, thanks for coming on, giving me your response, and giving our listeners the perspective from a former Razorback. And thanks for taking time out on the hill, my man.
All right, hey, go Hogs. All right, buddy.
That was former Arkansas All-Southwest Conference lineman and defensive line coach there at Lee Summit West in Missouri. Does a great job with those young men, giving us his take. But that's going to conclude our –
before we close the show, we got breaking news that Barry Lundy has taken the OC job at UTSA.
Oh.
Barry Lundy has opted out and has accepted the job at UTSA.
Oh, wow. That is big time breaking news. And you heard it first. I'm talking about a little words, but I'm talking about when D got something, he going to talk. He don't say much, but he came out with that breaking news right there. Barry Lundy will be the offensive coordinator at the University of Texas San Antonio for a new and former running backs coach and newly announced head football coach Jeff Traylor there at UTSA. Congratulations to Barry and his family. I know him on a personal level, really, really happy. And I think, you hate to see it's kind of bittersweet that Barry won't be on next year's staff, but I think it's a situation where it's time for Barry to go out and grow a little bit, because, the day is coming that he's going to be a head football coach at a Power 5 school or, at the collegiate level. I have no doubt in my mind that that's going to take place. But congratulations to Barry. Best wishes for you and your wife and your two boys. Be blessed and go out and kill it at UTSA. But that's going to wrap up our show today. I want to give a thank you to our guest, Jake Roos of UGAsports.com. Also to former Arkansas All-Southwest Conference offensive lineman Limbo Parks for giving us his take on what he thinks about the new pit boss and head hog, Sam Pittman, that is just taking over this program. I want to give a shout-out to our sponsors, Lindsay & Associates, with an office location in Fayetteville, an office location also, too, in Rogers. Locomotion, it's located just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall in Fayetteville. Corey Beck's Custom Painting. Anything, residential, commercial, exterior, it doesn't matter. It's going to look good. Just call Corey Beck and you won't be disappointed. And lastly, KDK's Chicken. That's located at 989 South Razorback Road. Make your way down, see Keith and Kathy, get your plate of that love. And like the sign says, it's not your mama's, the best chicken and waffles in the South. As a matter of fact, I think that's where I'm going to go. So if you hurry up, you might see me down there. And, hey, we may grab a bite to eat. I don't mind. You'll be down there and supporting, a great, great chicken and waffles place. But from my producer, Demetrius Johnson, and myself to you all, thanks for joining us. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. You guys have a blessed one, and let's get it.
Take me, God.